What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Let me get myself relaxed and situated. Hope you guys had a great week. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, Phantm Phuego, here to bring you the news, previews, reviews, just a twist of my ghetto point of view. As always, shout out to the team at Anchor, shout out to the people at Spotify, shout out to all places where dope podcasts are sold, streamed, shared, talked about, engaged with, interacted with. Bewildered, beleaguered, belittled, bussed at, fired upon. I don't know. I'm just being silly. It's been an insane week, man. A lot of good music. Shout out to the guy T. Cali. Me and him got some amazing joints on the way. Shout out to my dude Malik from LIU. Check him out, MSSR Designs on Instagram. If you need photography work, graphics, animation, dude is dope. He's amazing. He does really good work. Definitely holler at him. MSSR Designs on Instagram. MSSR Designs on Instagram. Dude is dope. Anyway, yeah, my energy is like really up right now. Despite everything going on that's crazy in the world, despite everything we've been going through as a people, despite everything we've been going through as a community, despite everything we've been going through as a nation, despite everything we're going through as global citizens, I'm up. My energy's up. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling revived. Just had a beautiful cup of ginger tea. You know, smoking on that gas. Smoking on that gas. You know, I'm in my day, man. Having a good day. Really loving life. Really cherishing the moment because so many people are not getting to be around to cherish these moments with us. So it's like, we gotta cherish it for them. We gotta pop bottles and toast for them. We gotta do great things in life for them. We gotta atone for our wrongs and build up our rights and sharpen steel with others and build intellectually, build physically, create foundations, create generational wealth, create physical monuments that attest to your greatness, create businesses, create lasting legacies. Create lasting legacies. That's what we all about. That's what we should all be about. If that's not what we about, then what the heck are we doing? If that's not what we about, then what the heck are we doing? As always, it's your boy Phantm Phuego, here to bring you the news, views, previews, reviews, just a twist of my ghetto point of view. So, for those that have been watching the news this week, as long as your head wasn't under a rock, you saw the massive amount of fallout from the explosions in Beirut and Lebanon. It's very interesting times. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Senator Kamala Harris being, nominated for the vice presidency and the country, and a lot of amazing things. It's a lot of positive energy going on all around me today. It's a lot of dope vibes. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Let's jump into a few tracks, and then we're going to get into these topics for the day. We're going to have a lot to discuss. It's going to be fun times. Let's go. Sunday. It's a fun day. And the only way I can think of starting the day off right is with a couple tunes. Let's get into it. We'll be back. Yeah. Yeah, we're back. Listen, you guys are the absolute greatest audience in the world. As always, any questions, comments, critiques, criticisms, anybody interested in getting some products out in front of our audience, amazing audience, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com is the best place to reach us. Or you can also catch me at his ghetto POV or his ghetto point of view on Instagram. But his ghetto POV at gmail.com for any business inquiries. His ghetto POV at gmail.com is really the best place to reach out. Get at us. Any artists looking to be featured on the show, have music played on the show, come in and introduce yourself to our amazing audience and get a nice conversation going. His ghetto point of view, HISGHETTO POINTOFVIEW at gmail.com. HISGHETTO POINTVIEW at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Anyway, once again, shout out to Anchor.fm. Shout out to all the places. Amazing podcasts are shared, streamed, engaged with, interacted with. And it's only the beginning, man. We're gonna take this thing to the tippity to the top. Alright, so Senator Kamala Harris. I'm not going to belabor the point with you guys. I'm just gonna jump right in. And I'm just gonna jump right into this, guys. I really don't know how to feel about Senator Kamala Harris being our potential candidate for vice presidency on the Democratic ticket. And I know, women, aka, salute to the ladies of AKA, salute to Alpha Kappa Alpha, salute, ladies. I mean, it's no disrespect to you, the fraternity, at all, the sorority, I'm sorry, I mean, no disrespect to you or any of the sorors. This has nothing to do with that. And I would argue that and this is where I may get shot at. This is where people may want to beat me up. And this is where people may want to have some beef. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. I welcome the smoke. To be honest with you, it may actually have something to do with that. It may very well have something to do with being AKA that. And if I'm shouting out the wrong frat, please forgive me. I'll confirm that over the next break. But shouts to the frats, man, and shouts to the frats and the sororities. But I saw a meme, and then I know y'all gonna be like, "Oh God, you can't get accurate information off a meme. What are you talking about?" But this one was actually very telling, and I thought it was actually kind of accurate. And it talked about how, unfortunately, people in the African American community and people who are transplants here from other communities, immigrants who come to America to go to American schools from so many other great nations, throughout the world. People who transplant here, people who migrate here, immigrate here, whatever you want to call it. People who come here for a better life and better opportunities for themselves, or maybe not necessarily better, but additional opportunities. People who come here to expand their families' reach into this territory for whatever particular reason. When you get involved with these sororities, and Spike Lee did an amazing job covering this in school days and telling people to wake up. When you get involved with these sororities, you can really start to hate on yourself. You can really begin to hate on who made what you are and your heritage, your culture, your ethnicity, your roots, your upbringing, the things that made you, the things that make your people, the things that make your culture unique and special and sacred, and the things that you can cling to in times of chaos and turmoil. a lot of times when we get down with these sororities and these fraternities, and which quite often are built on the knowledge that they acquired from ancient schools of thought and in Africa anyway. What you talking about? That's crazy. What do you mean? You just sound silly. Well, if we think about any of the greatest Greek scholars, and I don't mean to belabor this point, so I'm not going to, but I mean, if you look at anybody, Plato, Aristotle, all of them, all of the greatest Greek philosophers, all went and studied in Africa and learned and brought back knowledge that they barely understood, that they had an infant-like understanding of. And that infantile level of understanding allowed them to do so much. Barely understanding what they had been taught allowed them to do so much. But they only had a rudimentary understanding of the complex knowledge that they were being shared, which had been passed down for millennia, time immemorial. You talking about shout to Godfrey, salute to Godfrey in a recent Vlad TV interview, and salute to Vlad and everything he does on his platform. Love him, I hate him, he does allow the conversations to be had on the platform. So you gotta respect it. Whether you like his perspective or not, his perspective could be completely inaccurate. He could just be caping for, that particular side. But he will allow the argument to happen. And for that in and of itself, the fact that you allow the information to be presented, I salute that. I salute that 100%. So, Vlad having a conversation with the comedian Godfrey, shout to Godfrey, shout to the whole team over at the Godcast Networks. Definitely amazing work you guys are doing over there. Rod Digger, shout to the God. Peace to y'all, and hope y'all continue to have nothing but amazing success. That was just a salute, just another salute. But anyway, so Godfrey was on Vlad, and Vlad, and him start getting into this back and forth. This is a very intense one. I definitely recommend checking out this episode just to see this the exchange back and forth with him and Godfrey. And Godfrey was saying how, well, first, Godfrey talked about things, things in the Bible, the giants, the reptilian agenda, all those things. Him and Godfrey him and Vlad really broached a lot of very interesting topics. So again, I'm appreciative for them even engaging in that type of dialogue on his platform, them being the type of people they are, not in pursuit of bags from other people as much anymore, because they're establishing their own platforms, but still mainstream. And the fact that they were so bold to even engage in these conversations, I really salute and appreciate that. I know I've said that like 3 times, but I feel like a lot of times in media we get a very skewed, one-sided, myopic, very narrow-minded, often ill-informed, closed-minded, etc. The list goes on and on. We get like these very small, acute perspectives on life and such complex issues of life. We get these very, very, very narrow-minded, singular voices just being repeated by different people at different times of the day, whether it be on social media or the news or the radio, digital news now. And it's just, so when you have people who are willing to have conversations, even if they have absolutely zero belief in the topic of discussion. Just the fact that you would bring it up and allow it to be discussed with some level of respect and some level of integrity and intellect, and seriousness, so that, people who have some interest in the topic can appreciate how you broach it. Anyway, I say all that to say they really had a great discussion, and they were talking about the whole Nick Cannon situation. And as will I today. I'm definitely going to broach it and touch it a little bit today. I didn't want to, I've really been letting it play out for a while just to see how many different layers of it unfold. Actually, I may reserve for one more week or two. I really want to see this whole situation unfold before I go in. I really want to see what everything else happens. I did see the recent conversation with Nick Cannon and the second rabbi at the AJC summit, where there was a little bit of backlash from multiple communities, because some people in the Jewish community feel like Nick Cannon's condemnation of Louis Farrakhan wasn't satisfactory. Nick Cannon did admit that he doesn't always agree with everything that the minister and head of the spiritual leader, national spokesperson of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, he said, of course, he doesn't agree with anything. I mean, who does? Who of intellect agrees with anyone else every single time, word for word, iota for iota? There's going to be differences of opinion based on how I live, how you live, how I grew up, how you grew up, the places I've traveled, the places you traveled, things I've experienced, the things you've experienced. We're going to have different perspectives. So he said he doesn't agree with everything the man says, but he can't throw him away. And he's been saying that for a while. He actually said that in the first interview as well, when the initial rabbi who took him to the Museum of Tolerance and started this sojourn with Nick Cannon to be re-educated, quote unquote, and to be re-informed, quote unquote, about things about Jewish history and heritage and things of that nature. So what I just find this whole situation very interesting, and like I said, I'm gonna talk about it in a week or two. I just really want to let it unfold a little bit more. I didn't want to just jump in emotionally and just feed into the situation. And then I've been seeing what's going on. I see D.L. Hughley has talked about it quite a bit, and I said some things about Professor Griff, as well as Nick Cannon, and on a Vlad is making himself quite busy off of this. Vlad has become quite busy, and I know Vlad himself, he speaks to Nick Cannon quite often, and they have a personal relationship. So this whole thing, I just want to reserve commentary, because I feel in not listening, not learning, you can't see the bigger picture. You can't see everything. I just learned something in watching Nick's hour dialogue with the people from the AJC about the Sephardic, I don't want to say it wrong, SEPHARDIC, Sephardic Jewish set, which are pretty much like these, multiple races of Jews, but there were some that were Hispanic in heritage of the Sephardic Jewish sect, and his, I believe he said grandfather or great uncle, one of the two, was a rabbi. He had a family, ancestor who was a Spanish rabbi who was of the Sephardic sect of the Jewish people or Jews. And so that kind of was interesting to me, because if the whole debacle was, he was saying that he feels that African Americans share that lineage, and then if he's actually in fact saying, I do have direct lineage to a Hispanic rabbi who's of Sephardic heritage. Also, I found out that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has Sephardic heritage, and I wouldn't have even known what the Sephardic sect of Jews was had I not taken a moment to listen and just want to learn more and be more engaged, and then look some things up. So I feel like it's very, very important that we take the time to just let things play out a little bit on the chessboard, if you will, and not immediately reply, not immediately strike, not immediately jump into the situation. Let things breathe a little bit. Sit back and watch the pieces play out a little bit. Watch a couple pawns get taken off the board. Watch a knight or two make a move. Somebody might pull a queen out early, jump out the gate. Somebody might slide a rook somewhere real nice and special. Somebody might move a bishop. Watch the board. Let things play out a little bit. Let a few moves unfold, and I promise you may have a completely different outlook on a situation had you just immediately responded with outlash. Now, is that always possible? Absolutely not. There are always times in your life where you are going to have to make rash, split decisions to save a life, to help someone, to help yourself, to get to the next level in life, to avoid something that you don't need in your life. There will be times you have to make immediate split decisions, and of course those are times you have to trust your intuition and just let the chips fall where they may, as women and men. But something like this, this is Nick Cannon's life. It's not, and I don't mean to say it in just like that. Love the brother, and I want to see nothing but happiness, success, and good fortune for him. But I don't rely on entertainers to be my leaders. I don't rely on entertainers to be my leaders. I do not rely on entertainers to lead me. Now, Nick Cannon has made himself more than an entertainer. He has separated himself. This man is now college educated, seeking a theologian degree, and a degree in theology. He's going to be a theologian. And, you have to salute that level of, number one, the level of discipline, dedication, and pursuit of knowledge and continuing to sharpen your sword and, get good at the craft that you initially came into this with, which is the pen game. Because all he's doing, anybody who knows anything about higher up degrees, it's just a lot of writing, a lot of reading, a lot of presentation. So he's really just taking these skills that he started evolving and acting and performing and just continuing to manifest them in different levels and in different ways in his life, with being able to write scripts and being able to write music and being able to write for different projects. It's just a manifestation of his reading and writing acumen, which is on another level. And I say that to say, as he's securing his theology degree and becoming a theologian, it's just more of heavy manifestations of heavier reading, heavier writing, heavier understanding, and heavier presentations, which he's clearly shown he can do very well. So let a few more of these chess moves play out, and I'm definitely going to give my perspective on the situation. But things have gotten very interesting. I'm very happy that he has made it clear that he will not throw away the minister of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, because why should he? The Nation of Islam, it's a very well documented, the amazing things they've done in the communities all across this country and outside of this country and other parts of the world. To discredit that and take away from that because he may say some things that some people don't agree with, you may yourself not agree with. I don't think that's the wisest thing to do. As the old folks say, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can always change the water, make the tub fresh again. And I really do believe that there is much more good and positivity and love and nurturing and help and healing for the people, and good teachings and good information to train peoples in the art of self-sufficiency, because I do believe there's an art and a science to it, and the pride in oneself that self-sufficiency will then feed off of, because you can't be self-sufficient. You can't want to go out here and get it. You can't feel the need to survive on your own if you do not feel good about yourself and capable in your own hands, feel confident in your own capabilities to get those things done. If you do not feel confident in your own capabilities to get those things done, you will never manifest. You will never bring money home. You will never do it. You will never get it by yourself. You will always be chasing the bag and chasing someone else's dream. And there's nothing wrong with that for some people. But for some people, that's absolute nightmares, tortures, and horror. And even though they may be good and excellent at working for others, they just want to work for themselves. And some people are happier and more content making slightly less money working for themselves at the beginning and outset as they grow their dreams and empires than they are making larger amounts of money working in other people's dreams. You know, it's really about legacy plays at this point. Do you want to create a foundation of something that your family can continue to build off of into the future? Lay it solid, lay it right, lay it smooth, smart, calculated, precise, foundational laying? Or do you want to continue to help build out the foundation and infrastructure of other people's? At some point, it really just does come down to that. So shout to Nick Cannon. Shout to Professor Griff. I know the situation is going to get better at some point, but it might get worse before it get better. That's unfortunately the nature of these things sometimes. And I would definitely be keeping abreast of it. And make sure I let the people know what I think soon enough. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. Shout to Anchor. It's Sunday. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Let's get into some more music. We'll be back. Yeah. Yeah, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Phantm Phuego. As always, guys, any questions, comments, please reach out. Get at us. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Also find us on Instagram and any other social media network you may peruse. His ghetto point of view on Instagram and any other dope social network you may peruse. Now, NBA season is back in full swing. Haven't been watching as much as I gotta be honest with you guys. I haven't been watching as much. I know you go, boo, what you mean you haven't been watching as much? I don't know. I haven't been watching as much. I normally would be like, I love basketball. I really love basketball. And my love for basketball, I thought my love for basketball was leaving, and it really is not. I love basketball. I don't love the NBA anymore. I'm kind of done with the professional athletes just allowing the nonsense. If that makes me wrong, it makes me wrong. I'm kind of just done with the professional athletes just allowing the foolishness to happen. But for the sake of what I do here, I have been keeping up with the news. The playoffs are about to start now, but I have my predictions, if you will, for the playoffs. So I see that in the first round, Houston is expected to play the Thunder, and Bleacher Report actually reported on that and have the Thunder, they feel, overtaking the Houston Rockets. And anybody who knows your boy Phantm Phuego knows that I'm a diehard diehard Houston Rockets fan, and I've been that way since Elijah Wan was dream shaking his way to 2 championships. I've been a fan of the Rockets. Like, I remember waking up to the Rockets winning the chip. Channel 4. Or was they on Channel 7 by that time? They might have been on Channel 7 by that time. I might be dragging it. They might have been off Channel 4 and on Channel 7 by the time the Rockets won those chips. Either way, waking up right to hear they won, smiling, going back to sleep, school. It was, just the end of the school year. It was a good time. I was so young. But I loved me some Hakeem Olajuwon. I thought he was the best player in the league. Yeah, now that I've gotten older and I've been able to watch some of the games again as somebody who really sees and understands basketball. Damn, Michael Jordan really gave it to my boy Olajuwon. And I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know if Olajuwon gets the 2 chips if Jordan stays. I think Olajuwon was the second greatest player in the league and the most dominant big man, period. Do I think at some point, had Jordan just kept playing into, back to back, would Olajuwon have possibly cracked through for 1? Possibly. I don't know if he gets the 2 back-to-back, though, and I don't know if he is considered who he is now. Without those 2 rings, I don't know if that dream shake would have as many people coming to see him in the summer. I don't know if so many great players would train with him in the summer if he wasn't who he was because of those 2 back-to-back. Kenny the Jet Smith, Robert Horry. That was, Cedric Max, good team, man. I believe Sam Cassell was on that team for a little while. As the team evolved, they brought in Barkley, they brought in Pippen, they brought in Drexler, I think, for a time even. That team had, all of my favorite players at one time, rotating through there. And it was crazy. And then they traded Olajuwon to the Raptors, and I said, screw the NBA. I was really mad for a while. I'm not gonna lie. You gonna trade my guy to the Raptors? But I understood, that's how the league works. It's a business. And I still love the Raptors. I still love the Rockets even after he left. I love the Rockets in the days of Steve Francis just going AWOL with people like Cuttino Mobley on his side. I love the days of Tracy McGrady killing with Yao Ming. I've really been there for a lot of eras of the Rockets. Each one has been interesting and fun, and now this new era of James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Initially just the James Harden era, but now also the James Harden Russell Westbrook era. I like this incarnation. I'm very intrigued to see how far they can go. The fact that they are allegedly going to lose to the Thunder in the first round is rough. Gotta double check the injury reports. I don't expect both of them to miss the series, so I don't see why they would say that. But strange things have happened. Chris Paul is a beast. He's an absolute nightmare. He's a demon. He's literally, when him and James Harden came on this team together, I was like, my favorite point guard is now on my favorite team with the sauce cooker, James Harden. And I call that man the sauce cooker because, have you seen him play? Have you seen that man play? He is the sauce cooker. Do I even need to explain why I call James Harden sauce cooker? That brother cooks with sauce. That brother ain't playing. That brother don't feed you dry spaghetti. You don't go to his restaurant and think you just gonna get spaghetti that's dry with some marinade, a little bit of oil. Nah,
You getting sauce dripping spaghetti and meatballs. I'm talking about beautiful, big, luscious plate, oozing down, tomato sauce all over the place, spilling over. The type, you need the rolls. I'm talking about that type of vibes. My man James Harden is the sauce cooker. So I thought him and Chris Paul was great till I realized him and Chris Paul both need the ball to be work together. And Chris Paul might be a little bit too serious for James Harden. Oh, James Harden, he's a great player. He's my guy. I don't know how serious he takes it just yet. I think, and I don't, listen, that's crazy because, I mean, this man comes back every year with so many new moves. He clearly takes the game of basketball seriously. He takes his training seriously. I don't know if he's ready to defer to teammates yet. You know, Kobe had to go through that. Iverson, I don't know if Iverson ever really got there like he should have. But I don't know if Iverson had the team around him to do it. I think James Harden, as his game evolves, if he can defer to Russell Westbrook more, and if he gets one more person he really feels he can really rely on, like they got some good guys, you know, Eric Gordons of the world, and you know, the Eric Gordons. Nah, let me stop. Let me not be so mean. They have a great squad in Houston, but you know, Austin Rivers, Eric Gordons, PJ Tuckers. They definitely do have a really strong team. Rocco, Robert Covington, you know, so they definitely have an amazing system that they run. But I think Harden again and again is being worn out in the system and becoming injured in the system, becoming over reliant on taking set outside long threes in the system. And I don't know if that's a championship winning formula. So I can understand why they say they would lose to the Thunder, but there's no way they don't get out the first round. To me, I don't care if only one of them are playing. I don't care what the situation is. To me, there's no way. Chris Paul is great. Steven Adams is great. Shout out to my boy Amadou Amasad Diallo. You know what I'm saying? Repping NYC. But to me, there's no way they don't make it past those guys handily, to be honest with you. Just from my perspective. I see Milwaukee is at the top in the East. I think they actually make it very easily through the East. A lot of players are injured on teams. I know Philly has some injuries. I don't think a lot of the other teams are ready. Of course, the Nets are dealing with injuries. Boston, to me, is not ready. Maybe Boston makes it to the finals against them, but most likely it's going to be Toronto that makes it to the finals against Milwaukee. With Toronto possibly even pushing it to a Game 7 and possibly even coming out the East again for a second time around, which would be interesting because, I mean, Toronto is hella deep. Toronto was deep before they got Kawhi. Kawhi just kind of came in and plugged himself into a system which, to be honest, in my humble opinion, had two prototype Kawhis, and they were allowed an OG and a newbie and Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. To me, those are two Kawhis in the making, and they were literally allowed to sit there and for a year watch Kawhi go to work firsthand, and see everything he does, see his diet, his workout acumen, his relentless nature, his focus, his dedication to the game, his craft, his no nonsense, no frills, amazing, proficient, efficient, crafty game of ball that he plays. So reminiscent of MJ. I know we say that Kobe is reminiscent of MJ, but god damn it, Kawhi, the way Kawhi Leonard played basketball is so reminiscent of MJ. And it's not even funny. The big hands, the movements, the dribbling, the shooting, the strength, just being a bull and a bully. And Jordan was much stronger than the people in his day, and I feel Kawhi is much stronger, and his strength and relentlessness and big hands and aggression and two-way nature and ability to play on the ball and off the ball and be a defensive anchor and literally damn near play 1 through 4 and sometimes 5 if the other team's playing small ball. I really feel he could get several more rings before this is all over and possibly be in the conversation as one of the greatest ever. And I think sometimes his personality keeps him out of the conversation because he really should be in it already. The man has 2 rings from 2 separate places and 2 MVPs. The man should be in the conversation already and finals MVPs. But we understand the politics. Kawhi's a demon. Anyway, I think that in the West, I personally think it'll be Lakers Clippers. Barring injuries, because Paul George, as much as I love that brother, he's not fully 100% back yet to me in my eyes. So I would look out for that. I wouldn't pick them to win it just yet this year. I think they need a little more time to gel and put that together, especially with all the time that was off. I think next year is going to be very interesting. I think a lot of great players are coming into the league. I think a lot of teams are going to get to gel. A lot of young players are coming into their own. It's a good time. But as far as this year goes, I see it being Milwaukee, Toronto in the East, Lakers, Clippers in the West. If there's any sleepers on both sides, Boston in the East. Houston in the West. And I'm not saying that just because they're my team. I really thought about that for a minute. I don't see a third team that could surpass Denver. I'm sorry, Denver. To be honest, I can't go Houston over Denver. Jokic is an animal right now. He's in great shape. Jamal Murray's looking good. I think Jokic can put them on his back and take them all the way to the Western Conference Finals, excuse me. I really think he can. I honestly think Jokic, if he has the right type of season, could even be LeBron. Like I'm that sold on this game. You got a 7-footer. Like, to me, he's a reemergence of Will Chamberlain. He's literally that good to me in my eyes. Amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Lakers Nuggets or Lakers Clippers in the West. Raptors Boston, not as likely. Most likely Raptors Bucks in the East. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Bet some money on those teams. Guarantee you can get your flips up. You heard it here first. Let's dig into some more music. Be back. Cheers. Yeah, so Kamala Harris. I'm not sold. I'm really not sold. I need to see more. I know people are saying, well, she's changed her legislation. She's changed the way she thinks since she's become a senator. She's not the same person as she was as the assistant DA. As the attorney general, she's not the same person as she was as DA. She's not the same person she was as a top prosecutor. She was the top cop in LA. The top cop in LA. Place that arrests far too many black people and has far too many murders of black people at the hands of police. She was the top cop there for a very long time. She put people away in jail that were innocent. She she didn't release information for people who were innocent until after they were executed. She broke the record for the number of marijuana convictions. Now, there's some memes going around talking about felony marijuana convictions. Many of them may actually, in fact, have been misdemeanor marijuana offenses. But the facts remain that there is a disproportionate amount of black and brown people who go, particularly people of African American descent, who go to jail for marijuana use when other communities are using it just as much. So there's definitely a targeting and an over-policing of a particular set of people in LA. And this woman presided over that. This woman presided over that disproportionate amount of black men being locked away, that disproportionate amount of black women being locked away, that disproportionate amount of brown people being locked away, people of Hispanic and Latino and Latinx heritage being locked away for things such as truancy. Locked away. Massive fines. Jail time. And now we're supposed to look at her as some type of progressive person. And it's like, I don't know what happened, bro. I don't want to say people to me seem silly, but sometimes I don't understand how people can just say they've changed and don't have to express any of the physical attributes of someone who's changed. You know, have they made public, decisions to change things? Or is this just playing up the same narrative of, oh, I'm sorry, yet nothing changes? A couple songs and dance and hey, charades, and nothing changes. Kamala, to me, just seems like she hasn't changed anything. And she doesn't need to change anything because she's already getting into the House in a very powerful seat. And there's so much historic relevance tied to this decision that I feel people will vote based on that alone, as opposed to politics and policy. But time will tell how everything shakes out. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me tonight. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna cut out. hisghettopointofview@gmail.com is the place where you can catch us. hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. You guys have been amazing. Please support the artists that you hear me sharing. Shouts to Kambada. Shouts to O'Henny Cornelius, aka just O'Henny. Shouts to Mandela Eskia. Black Zeus, the label. Black Zeus, the rock band. Shouts to everybody. Shouts to Black Zeus, the artist family. Shouts to Brooklyn Wildlife. Shouts to so many amazing people. Marcus Jade. Chris Call. I couldn't do what I do without you people being there, supporting, pushing, being positive. Shouts to Kenyatta Beasley. Shouts to Tony Dofat. Shouts to Basie Bob Brockman. Just shouts to Ranisha Marksman. Shouts to everybody. It's been so excellent. Larry Banks. Shouts, love. It's been very, very, very dope times. And y'all support definitely drives me. It keeps me going forward. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, views, previews, and news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. Make sure you tune in each Sunday. Tell a friend and 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 tell a friend. Share it and share it and share it and share it. Let everybody know Sundays is where it's go down. I have an amazing show next week with some amazing guests lined up. You don't want to miss it. Tune in. It's going to be an amazing blockbuster show. You guys are awesome. Got the best audience that anybody could ever ask for. hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. For any questions, comments, you want to get your stuff in front of our amazing audience. Or you can always find us online as well. His Ghetto Point of View on all these social media platforms. HGPOV show is on most platforms as well. You guys have a great night. Take care. Live. Breathe. Make sure the fam get through this safe. We all got each other. All we got is us. But as together we got a community. We stronger than ever. We got more power and vibrancy and brilliance than ever. We gonna make it. We gonna win. We gonna shine. We gonna have victory. We gonna crush. We gonna stand tall. We gonna be proud. We gonna be strong. We gonna be here in the end, and we gonna win this week, next month, next year, the millennia. We gonna win. You guys are beautiful. You guys are excellent. You guys are strong. You guys are great. You guys are powerful. You guys are majestic. You guys are royalty. Royalty. Love always. Y'all have a great week. Stand firm, stand positive, stand strong, stand on your square. Nothing will defeat you. Nothing will get in your way. Let's get to it. Let's take it to these streets. Let's take it to the world. Let's take it to the universe. Let's take it through the galaxies and beyond. Y'all have a wonderful one. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, and we out. Peace.